Hey everyone, I am AK and I help law firms leverage practical and simple AI tools in their everyday workflows without making the process feel more complicated than it needs to be. The goal with these videos is very simple. Take one everyday problem and look at one possible tool and explain where it might actually fit inside a law firm's workflows. If there is a workflow or tool or super annoying team process you want me to break down next, leave it in the comments and I will try to cover it in a future video. Today, I would like to show you Wispr Flow. Wispr Flow is a voice dictation tool. You talk and it turns what you say into cleaner written text that's well formatted. I am showing you how a law firm could use voice instead of typing for everyday writing. Think intake notes, client updates, billing notes, internal emails, and longer prompts for AI tools. Because a lot of law firm work starts in your head before it becomes a document, if a tool helps you get that first draft out faster, it is absolutely worth testing. It can help with the first draft of notes, emails, summaries, and prompts. The value is mostly speed, but also getting more context out before you forget it. Regular dictation usually writes down what you said, but Wispr Flow tries to clean up messy speech so the result feels more like usable writing. I would highly recommend getting the business plan or the enterprise plan because it is SOC 2 compliant, but obviously for the purpose of just experimenting and playing around with new technology, you are welcome to download the personal plan and just give it a try. But if you think it's something that would be useful for your workflows, I would highly recommend switching to a business plan. All right, so let's get started. To download Wispr Flow, head over to their website, which is wisprflow.ai, spelled WISPR flow.ai. You can download it for your system. It's available on Mac, Windows, and iPhone and Android, which is really cool. You can download it on your phone as well. And I'm just going to show you what it sounds like and walk you through a little bit of the demo that they have on their website as well. I just want you to get a bit of a taste of how their dictation quality varies from existing dictation tools. So you can click on the Start Dictating just to give it a try on their website. So I need your help with the following three things. I need you to write the document draft for the engagement letter. I need you to send over the invoice to the client that signed yesterday. And I also need you to make a list of all the pending tasks that your team needs to complete for the next week. So there you go. Your content is formatted really well. It has bullet points and it's really understood exactly the way I would probably draft a very simple list like this to share with my team. This is just a bit of a sneak peek into how the dictation quality is. And once you have it downloaded on your computer, you can actually go in and start setting it up as well. So to do that, you open the Wispr Flow app. Once you open up the Wispr Flow app, it will prompt you to sign in with your browser. So you can go ahead and do that. It will ask you for your Google account or Microsoft. I'm just going to sign in with my Google here for a second. All right, and you're in. I think that's pretty much it. It might prompt you to get some microphone settings approved, but otherwise, this is what the app looks like. You actually don't need to use the app at all. The way Wispr Flow works is it will allow you to configure by default which keyboard shortcuts you can use to turn on or off Wispr Flow. And it's like a little bubble that will show up at the bottom of your screen so you can interact with the audio input from literally any application. So over here, it has Command plus Option selected. So I'm going to go and change it to, actually this is pretty good. Let's do Option for hands-free. So I'm going to choose the right Option key, and then for push to talk, I'm going to choose Command and Option. So what's happening here is you have two ways to interact with Wispr Flow. You could either keep those buttons on your keyboard pressed at all times so it could record your audio, or you could go on a hands-free mode where you click on a button on your keyboard and it will keep dictating, it'll keep recording until you press that button again to go off of hands-free mode. So I personally use hands-free mode a lot, but obviously if you're doing something super quick, you should probably just use the push to talk option. And you don't have to worry about the rest of these settings just yet, but you could always come back in and fiddle around with it. That is all that you need to get set up. So just in case it didn't ask you about the shortcuts, I would recommend just going into settings and it will show your shortcuts right up there under general. So now that's out of the way, why don't we give it a test run on an application? So I'm going to open Google Doc. You could pretty much use this on any software, but let's just start with a simple Google Doc. So I'm going to click on the Option key on my keyboard, and there you can see that little bubble that appears at the bottom of the screen. That is basically Wispr Flow doing its magic. I'm going to click on the Option key again, and there you go. You'll notice that Wispr Flow recorded every single thing that I just said. This is especially powerful because you might be drafting an email, you might be in Claude, working with Cowork or Claude Code, or just chatting with ChatGPT. And it's super helpful to just articulate your thoughts in the form of audio as opposed to having to type everything out manually. It's significantly more powerful than the standard Mac or iPhone or Windows dictation software that's built into your computer, which is why I would highly recommend it. And you could use it for your emails as well. It does a really good job of drafting emails. You could also use it for drafting your documents. So let's say I'm drafting an email now. I'm just going to show you a little example. Hey, Jose, just wanted to quickly check in on the engagement letter that I sent over. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy to discuss next steps once it looks good for you to sign. There you go. It was as simple as that. And all you need to do is just come in here and clean this up just a little bit to format it. And I'm on the free plan, which is why it showed that little line that said written with Wispr Flow. But once you get on the paid plan, that would go away. This is just an example for an email. Maybe you're just writing a document you just want to blabber out a bunch of ideas for your document, and maybe you're drafting a prompt first and then you want to put it into ChatGPT or Claude. You could use it in a document here and just go on for 5 or 10 minutes straight and then stop recording it, and Wispr Flow would capture it. The other thing that's really cool about Wispr Flow is that you could create your own personal dictionary, or you could share one with your team as well. So in the dictionary tab in the Wispr Flow app, you can configure this to be something that maybe it accidentally misspells over and over, or this is just a specific word that you would like it to learn. Let's say there's a specific name. My mom's name is rather hard for it sometimes, so I'm going to drop that in here, and I'm going to turn it into a correct spelling. So oftentimes it misspells it as pretty. While I have no problem in writing her name as pretty, I would like for it to be very accurate. So I can just go in here and add a word. And similarly, you can add more and more words of the kind of words that you are used to saying in your everyday vocabulary, and it will register it. Maybe it's names of your team members, or maybe it's names of your clients that you interact with more often. And it has been doing a really good job. I see it struggle maybe 1%, not even 1%, 0.5% of the times on extremely complicated names, or on extremely easy names that also sound like other words. Those are the only times I've seen it struggle, but it's a very small chance. So that's a really cool feature. The other really cool feature is snippets. So it's like text replacements. I don't know if you're familiar with text replacements on your computer, but you could have it configure a small shortcut word that you could say that it will transfer or convert into a longer form sentence or paragraph or even prompt. So I'm going to do a random example here. Let's say you have an intake follow-up message that you would like to send to clients, and this is a message that you copy and paste all the time, quite often. So I'm going to call this intake follow-up, and I'm going to put in a sample text of what an intake follow-up could look like. So thanks for speaking with us today. Please send any photos, police reports, medical records, and insurance letters you have so our team can review the next steps. So I click on add snippet, and now every time I say intake follow-up with Wispr, it will translate it into, or it'll convert it into this longer form text. So let's give this a try. I'm going to go back into my browser, and I'm going to say the words intake follow-up, and it's automatically detected literally within a fraction of a second that I'm talking about a specific snippet, and it's translate or converted that word into, or the set of words into, this longer form sentence. I love using this for sharing scheduling links or my email address with people, because I have to share that quite often, and it's super helpful for me to just say scheduling link, or a very specific scheduling link, because I have a few for different durations, and it'll just do its magic. Another thing I want to remind you of is that it does work across apps. Don't forget that. You can use it on ChatGPT, you can use it on Claude, you can use it on literally any application you can imagine. And it also works on the phone. So download it. It works in the form of a keyboard on your phone. So no matter what application you're in, maybe it's Slack, maybe it's Google Docs, you can use it pretty much anywhere. When should someone choose to use Wispr Flow? I think Wispr Flow is extremely good for people who are yappers like me. We talk really fast. I slow myself down for these videos, by the way. If you ever meet me in person, you will know what I'm talking about. I'm very articulate with my words. My ideas flow faster when I'm trying to explain them with my words as opposed to pausing, spending time writing things. I think it's really good for those kind of personalities. Obviously, if you are someone who likes to type because it helps you think through your workflows, of course, that's totally fine. But if you are someone who prefers talking over typing or writing, it is absolutely the tool for you. So you could use it for rough notes or intake summaries or writing really long emails or AI prompts on ChatGPT or Claude. It's super useful for a lot of those functions. I always tell people, give it a try. It's worth testing out. I believe you get about 1,000 or 2,000 words a week for free on Wispr Flow. So I surpass it within a couple hours. So it's definitely, the free plan is definitely not enough for me, but it's absolutely worth just giving it a try and testing it out. Try it with your personal use cases, send messages to your family, or just use it to browse the internet. If you need to ask questions on Google, it's extremely simple to install and get started with. So I would highly recommend just trying it out. So yeah, that's the basic idea. Start small, use simple use cases to start with, and see whether the tool actually makes one part of your work easy. If you want me to look at another tool or a law firm workflow, comment with the specific workflow below, and I'm always happy to look at or find practical examples or tools to break it down. And of course, you can follow me for more simple legal tech and AI walkthroughs. Thank you for watching.